You're listening to Punisher Waterfowls, the Union 0430 podcast. Brought to you by Real Geese Decoys, the most technologically advanced silhouette decoy on the market. First Lite, the best hunting gear on the planet. Go farther, stay longer. And Ducklander Calls, tradition, education, and quality. Built to hunt.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Union 0430. This is episode 239, and we've got Michael Rietveld from First Lite. So I got to get this right, Mike. I got to make sure that I say this right. The outfitter and guide program manager with First Lite.
Close enough. Flip-flop guides and outfitters, but yeah.
Oh, close. So we've got Michael on with us today. We've got a pile of stuff that we want to talk about. We were having a great chat before the record button, but Philly had to kill the fun because he's got to go to work here in about 45 minutes. So we got to get this show going. Michael, buddy, thank you so much for coming on. It's been back and forth for a long time to try and get both of our schedules to mesh up so we can do this. And it's a perfect time that we're doing it now because I'm already seeing pictures of people with birds down and stuff. So perfect time to do an episode. But before we get started, I do have to thank First Lite as a sponsor of the Union 0430 podcast, Ducklander Calls, and Real Geese Decoys, and of course the voice of the Union 0430 podcast, Captain Jeff Coates from Pit Boss Waterfowl in Maryland, USA. All right, my buddy. Okay, let's get into it because I know Philly's got questions too about it. The Forge Waders, buddy. Let's dive right into it. Get into it because I've been using them for the past 2 seasons. Last season was my first season wearing them. I love them. Now we got to hear the sales pitch from you because you guys, no, but seriously, because I listened to Logan's episode that he done with Sam where they went live, and the technical stuff that was talked about on that was brilliant and stuff that I don't know nothing about. So it's awesome to have you on, buddy. So very long intro. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
Yeah, well, thanks so much for having me. Well, I'm gonna flip it a little bit, actually,
Yep.
Damien. I'm gonna ask you. You've been in the waders. What's your first impressions over the course of a season? What did you like about them?
So for me, the biggest part for me is I run a bit hot, right? So I don't like an insulated wader. So with these being the breathables and uninsulated, it's perfect for me. And I'm up in Canada, so even though I wore the waders in Lake Ontario, so in November, so it's getting cold. But I just layered underneath and they were fine. You know what I mean? Because I had the wader pants. So I just wore a pair of long johns underneath the wader pants, and I wore them out in Lake Ontario. I like how thin they are, and I like and my other favorite part is the magnetic clasps on the button. That's my favorite part, and the reinforced knee. For me, that's my favorite parts about them. But they work. The zipper, I love the one piece. The one piece design. I love the boot. I really like them. My only thing I wish I had with them now is I wish I had them in a solid color. That's the only thing I would say. If I could have one thing different, if I could have them in like a brown, I'd be bang on.
Yeah, and you're definitely not the only one. We've been hearing that a lot for sure. What about? Let me ask you. What about the fit? How did the fit go for you?
Well, so when you guys got me this set, I know there's a ton of different sizes, right? And and of course, so I didn't have the luxury of walking into the shop and trying on a bunch of different sizes. So I literally just told you and Logan, I was like, listen, I'm 5'11, I'm 240 pounds. I've got a 36-inch waist. And I gave that in my boot size. And like I said, they're perfect for me, because if it's early season and I'm just wearing a pair of like thin, like guide pants or the 308 pant, I can wear those underneath, and it's not bulky, it's not too loose. But then in the winter, when I want to bulk up and layer underneath them, the size still fits. So I guess a long way around saying it is that the size that when I put in my information to you and Logan, and you guys said this is the pair that you need, it's perfect.
Good,
The fit,
good.
yeah, the fit works for me, buddy.
That's awesome. I think like that you raised a really great point, you know, because that is something that I was equally as impressed with, is wearing them from opening day of the season. And
Yeah.
then obviously the key to, I would say most of First Light things is the layering in the merino wool, right? That makes, you know, the insulation properties of those base layers makes layering underneath that. I don't know about you, but I've hunted in those waders from 70 degrees. There was one more in that it was down to -5 without wind chill, you know, and I was comfortable as can be in those things, you know, and I wear the, our wick base layers on the bottom, real thin.
Yeah.
You get a lot of weird looks when you walk into the gas station with them, but you know, it'll do the trick. And then all the way down to those rugged wader pants, you know, those things are, in my opinion, game changer. Like that rugged wool package, like love that. And just keep super comfortable from day one all the way to the end of season. So
you brought up the wader pants. So I had the wader pants a couple years before I actually got the waders, and I was at a duck camp anyways, and I come out wearing them, and they got those little stirrups so that man, I got made so much fun of wearing those things with those stirrups on so that the pants didn't slide. And I was like, I'm telling people, and it was Steve Horse and Lori Ann Horse, and they're making fun of me, and I'm like, shut up, they're wader pants, and they were like, they're not that's girl pants, and they just fun of me the whole time.
It's funny, like years and years, like 25 years ago or so, I had a pair of fleece track pants, and that was like my cold weather layering stuff. Like back when I was more doing like a lot more river fishing than anything. But I legitimately had my mother sew a piece of fabric from ankle to ankle.
Oh, really?
I legit had my mom sew this fabric in underneath, like from ankle to ankle, solely for that purpose of like those pants not riding up when you're getting them down into the wader boots. Like that was the OG wader pant.
Yeah.
So, and I think, you know, your friends can make fun of all you want, and I don't know about you, but I get made fun of a lot in duck camp and duck blind. And I'm like, you know what, you can laugh as much as you want. It's such a functional piece at the end of the day. Like that little strip of fabric going underneath your ankle makes the world of a difference when you're pulling those waders up. And they're not bunching up around your knee, you know. Like
drive down freaking. And if it's not pants riding up, it's socks sliding down.
Well, both.
I was just going to say, all those memes during the duck hunting season, you'll see like a dude walking across the marsh or something, and it's like everything looks cool, but deep down my pants are riding up inside my boots or something like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, I get. No, I do. I do like them. Now, I do not have any of the wick long johns. I've got the wick uppers, but none of the wick. So I do have to get them. I hate wearing long johns. I really do. And for that reason, because I know I'm going to have at some point have to get out of the truck and go in to get a gas station coffee. And nobody needs to see me in tight,
well,
but so I wanted to ask you just on the technical side. Well, actually, the biggest thing because this is what everybody's asking me, and I have yet to been able to give them a definite answer. Talk to us about the warranty on the Forge Wader, Mike, because that's the biggest thing, especially. So, and I got to preface this. So we've got a bunch of people that are in the States that's watching it. So that's different. But for Canada, getting these across the border now with the exchange rate and everything, it's a steep price point. So the biggest thing now, fellas are open to buy them, but they want to know what the warranty is. So can you elaborate on the warranty for the waders, buddy, please?
Yeah, for sure. So, the language that we have on there is for the practical lifespan of the garment. But honestly, like, we're going to take care of you. And we've got a great system and repair relationship with a company called Rainy Pass Repair. And they do a phenomenal job of all things technical gear and getting those things repaired and back into the hands as quickly as possible. So that would be just kind of like in a nutshell, the warranty itself. I think I'm trying to remember the exact words of everything, but
Right.
basically, like, we'll get everybody taken care of, especially in season and turned around as best we can.
So I guess part of it is so obviously, like, if you're walking through flooded timber and you hook a branch and you rip it, well, then that's not under warranty, right? Because that's human error.
Yeah, so we send with the waders, we'll send these little patches to do the infield kind of
Yeah.
like quick repair kit, and then then that'll get you through the season to then after season to get all that stuff kind of taken care of properly
Right.
through the Rainy Pass repair.
Okay. And then I just lost it. So we talked about
Should have wrote it down.
oh, buddy.
But
Yeah.
to go back to your point, like, we would not cover incidental wear and tear,
Right.
like rips and punctures,
That's
because
right.
at the end of the day, those sharp sticks,
Yeah.
barbed wire fence, like, really nothing's going to hold up to that.
Sure.
But we will be able to facilitate the repair through our connection with Rainy Pass Repair
Right.
to make sure that they get back up to the standards, repaired
So
back to the standards.
I know what I was going to say now. So with the fact that the waders are a one-piece construction, and I'll let you elaborate on what the one-piece construction is, but because they're a one-piece construction, the chances of a seam leaking and stuff, that's not there anymore, right? So there's still a seam, yes, but there's not like on the other. So you've eliminated in the design, you've eliminated a lot of the issues where there could be problems that a person would encounter when they get these waders, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when we were doing our research, seams were the highest point of failure rate or leaking,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so, to conception right away was like, okay, well, most waders have hypothetically like 2-3 seams. Okay, so that's the highest failure point. Well, what if we just eliminated the seams and we come up with this one seam design
Right.
to eliminate or shrink the possibility of leaking in the seams itself.
Okay.
Seam, I guess I should say, not plural.
Yeah. So just talk about the one piece design, Mike, please.
Yeah, so it's, I mean, as simple as it is, it's just really one piece pattern.
Yeah.
Simply put, less seams, less failures. And so that was the biggest design point. It was a little tricky to get it right, but Pat Biernick, who's on our First Light product design, she's phenomenal, her and her team at what they do, and they were able to come up with this piece to eliminate those seams and come down to one.
Yeah. And then I guess I also want to add with that is during the testing because every set, it's not a every fifth set or every 10th set or nothing. Every set of waders gets stress test, right? And I think it's something ridiculous, like a bunch of times. It's not just one time they get stress test.
Yeah, we stress test them before they even get into the box and get shipped. So when they leave before they leave the factory, they're all stress test. I forget, what the exact specs are that they're tested to, but it is like above and beyond what normal use case would be, in a marsh or the flooded timber,
of course,
whatever that might be.
Philly, go ahead, buddy, because I know you were looking at them and wondering a bunch of stuff.
I've been waiting ages for these. So my biggest thing, like obviously, as we mentioned, like seams, wear points and stuff, like inner leg seams, crotch seams has always been like the bane of wader existence. Now, like the other main issue is wader to boot construction. So how is the first light waders, say, for lack of a better term, attached to the boots? And what's like, is there any sort of reinforcement that you guys have done to ensure, like, stronger seams and less leak issues?
Yeah, exactly. So, we have, we used LaCrosse Alpha wader boot, which actually has a bit of Primaloft insulation in it.
1200s, I think.
And then to your point, and to your point, the boot joint itself is reinforced, which then really helps prevent that fabric from collapsing into that boot, to give you the sturdiest joint possible, kind of at that connection.
Nice. And what's the tread design like on those LaCrosse boots?
I'm not exactly sure, but honestly, all I can really speak to is my use case in them. I think I've been running them for about going on 3 seasons now. And I'm going to tell you, probably like hands down, my single favorite part of the whole wader itself is the boot. I think it's hands down the most comfortable wader boot I've ever worn. Like, we've walked a couple miles into, some marshes with them, getting in and out some of those farm ponds and sloughs. So it's got the Vibram sole,
which you can never ever go wrong with. Like I've worn through the course of the years, in work, outside of work, whatever else, I've had a number of pairs of footwear with Vibram soles, and it's like the industry standard, so to speak.
Yeah, totally. I think LaCrosse, really sets the bar high with their products, and it was just another added benefit to partner with such a great company like LaCrosse and just have a really durable, comfortable fitting boot.
I think that definitely helps with the wader itself, because it's not like, well, here's just the First Lite wader. Like obviously you guys are known for your clothing, your fabrics, your design, your patterns, everything else. But I don't, if I'm not mistaken, like you guys don't sell any footwear, right?
Not exclusively. We partner with LaCrosse.
Like there's no actual First Lite
like whitetail boots and stuff like that.
But like again, you see all the stuff that you guys make aside from that, and then as a consumer looking, where it's like, yeah, here's these First Lite waders with LaCrosse boots. It's like, well, wow, like everyone knows LaCrosse. Like if you know anything about footwear, you don't even have to be in the outdoor industry. Like you know anything about footwear, you know LaCrosse, you know the name, you know the brand, the quality. So like that partnership, you're not just getting an amazing wader, but the boots are of top quality as well.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just, I'm all about, or not all about, reinventing the wheels. And so, LaCrosse, like to your point, industry standard, like it's a no-brainer to partner with them.
It's just a natural,
for such a premium product.
It's a natural thing to do. Like you got a premium, say upper product, from the ankle up, and then again, everyone knows LaCrosse. So again, it's just a natural marriage that, like who else are you going to pick?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Damien, what would you say is your single like favorite feature or piece of the wader?
To me, it's the breathability, the thinness of it, because I want, and everybody knows how warm the beginning of the season is.
Yeah.
And if you're wearing a pair of, you know, neoprene waders, like it is not fun at the beginning of the season.
No.
And then there's other breathable, like I've got other breathable waders that I've had in the past, and they're great waders, don't get me wrong, but they're still too warm for me. These here at the beginning at early season, it's like you're not wearing nothing, and they're thin enough that when you're in the water, it just keeps you cool. Do you know what I mean? Like if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that it's 4.5 layers.
Yeah. So that's how thin it is. Like you can be standing in water in the early season, and it's almost cooling you.
Yeah.
And then, but the fit is good enough that in late season, when you need to layer up, you can layer up. So with all and I'm not taking anything away from the bells and whistles of the pants or of the waders, because it's awesome. But to me, to be able to have one pair of waders and not had to switch come end of or late season, to me, that's my favorite thing. I got one pair. I could take those with me. I don't have to carry a second pair. That it's just simple to me. And that's what I love about them.
And the other,
but
and then, it's another interesting feature that I don't think it's talked about enough, but is the Otherm Aero I can't talk today. Aerogel foam actually in the seat.
Yeah.
Right. So like if you're sitting in a pit blind or anything, that it gives you just that little added benefit there, and actually like helps kind of break that barrier of like cold wood or whatever you're sitting on,
and the other,
it gives you that little bit of insulation.
Like the other big saving grace, obviously, like early season, like unless you're like armpit in water, you can open the zipper. Like there's zippered waders.
Just don't forget to zip it back up. Ask me how I know.
You can crack that zipper. You can, so if you getting hot, crack the zipper. You can dump air. Because like at the end of the day, like with waders, the heat can only go one direction, and that's up. And like if you have like say a snugger pair or a couple little extra layers, whatever, like you start filling that gap, air's not coming out. You get a little warm, you can crack that zipper, and it's a breath of fresh air, right?
Well,
yeah, totally. And that big front zipper, it's the YKK Aqua Seal zipper. It's easy to handle with gloves. And then honestly, like getting in and out and layering with that big chest front zipper, it's
the other thing too is like, say non-zippered waders, you go to pull them up. Well, guess what happens? Jacket rides up, sweaters ride up, everything rides up, right? Where in this case, you can have everything down. You pull the wader up around you, and your stuff stays down, shirts stay tucked in. You're not getting things bunched, like you get uncomfortable and stuff. Like you can get those waders up around you, throw the straps on, zip it, and everything's clothing wise underneath is where it's supposed to be, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I did want to go back to the boot topic again, because this is, I love when I get little bits of inside information on stuff. So when First Lite was designing these waders, and they were talking to LaCrosse about the boot, and First Lite, and Michael, you can tell me this is all completely wrong, but this is what I was told, so I'm gonna say it. So when First Lite was designing the boots and sent the specifications to LaCrosse, this is what we want, this is what we expect. LaCrosse came back with the boot and had said, listen, we can make this boot for you, but we're not gonna carry this boot because it's too expensive to make, because of the specifications that First Lite had wanted. And First Lite's rebuttal was, okay, well, that's what we want. We'll eat that little bit of extra cost because this is the boot we want. And LaCrosse was like, okay, well, we're making it for you, but this boot to these specifications won't be available for anybody else. This is a First Lite boot that's made by LaCrosse because it's just too expensive to make it, to put it on the shelf, really. True? False?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, that, to be honest, like I wasn't part of that conversation.
Right.
I do remember, it's been extensive testing over the last couple of years to make sure we got it right, before we launched it. And I do remember hearing something along those lines, of being exclusive to us.
Yeah.
I just can neither confirm nor deny.
Right. Yeah. No, I get it. But, to go with what you're saying, Phil, like everybody knows the LaCrosse brand. Everybody knows the First Lite brand. So when you can marry both of them together, you're just in for a solid product, right? And I didn't know. So as a former military guy, the Vibram Sole, like that is the industry standard.
Yeah.
So before, the Canadian military got the boots that we have now, like that was the sole that you would go out and you would resole your boots with Vibram soles. I know law enforcement people do it. And now I see like my Loa boots, that's what my Loa boots have, is Vibram soles. So they are the industry standard, like you said, Phil. So and to have a Vibram sole on a LaCrosse boot on a First Lite wader, it's just consistently building a solid product, which, and I guess this, and I'm not trying to insult anybody's intelligence, but when you start looking at the costs of things, the sticker price, and you go, well, how can you justify charging that kind of money? Well, it's because of the Vibram sole, the LaCrosse boot, the 4-layer construction of the waders, the one piece. All of those little things add to the sticker price. You can buy a cheaper wader, but you're not going to have the things that these have. And as a outdoorsman, former military, I will tell you this: added to the thinness of the material, those tape zippers, like those zippers are amazing. And if you have never used taped zippers, you don't know what you're missing when it comes to protecting the stuff in your pockets, because it is. And I don't know for sure, but I'm fairly positive is that YKK makes this zipper, and this is the only, I'm pretty sure they're the only ones that make a zipper to these specifications. I don't think anybody else does.
No, I can't speak to that detail of YKK, but I know it's like, it is the top of the line zipper. Like it's, again, industry standard, and so when you add a bunch of, high end feature sets, we just weren't willing to take any shortcuts, is what it comes down to. And we built them to perform and built them to last.
Here's a question for you. And this applies to anyone, whether, to you guys or anybody else in the world. Name another zipper company.
Yeah.
Right? Go ahead. Name another zipper company.
Yeah.
Fair point.
Yeah. It is. It's a great point. It's a great point. And it just, I know when you say we weren't willing to take any shortcuts, and Phil, you sort of kind of alluded to it when you said, I've been waiting for years for these to come out. But Michael, how many times have I asked you, when are the waders coming out? Even though, like, I had a pair, one of the, the trial pairs, and then I'm asking Mike, when can I say the waders are coming out? You guys did not rush this at all. Yeah. Even when everybody was like, come on with the waders already, you guys they're not there yet. They're not ready.
We, like, again, like, such extensive testing over the years, and we wanted to make sure that we had everything absolutely perfect out of the box. Everything was meticulously engineered, every detail, everything. We wanted to make sure that the consumer confidence out of the box was going to be there from day one. Mm-hmm. Never wanted to retract whatsoever. And so there was some frustrations from some consumers, and maybe even some testers like yourself. It was like, when are we going to see these things, Mm-hmm. And it was just like, hey, look, we really want to get it like minute detail, spot on, perfect. And we were willing to push to make sure that we delivered this product.
And as the saying goes, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah, exactly.
Very true. And listen, I think everybody that's listening to this show right now, for the first time in a very, very long time, there are a lot of options out there for waders for a waterfowler right now. So you have to, like, you can't cannonball in. You've got to be very meticulous and strategic with your design, because people have options right now. One time, not so much. Now there's options. So you have to make sure that your product is bomb proof on launch.
Yeah, exactly right. And another kind of cool feature set that we have, I mean, you'd have to go to firstlite.com and go to the Forge Waders, but we have a series called The Nitty Gritty. And that's a great breakdown. And then also there's another product video with Logan on the Forge Wader construction, and they're on the PDP itself. You'll have to scroll down a little bit on the product page, but it goes into even more detail than I can explain, right? Because that product team, has been through so much fabrics and testings and, different types of ceilings and boot construction, design, and all that stuff, that they break it down and can speak so much better to it on those videos themselves to again, like, build that confidence for the consumer, to your point of, okay, why First Lite Forge Waders, right? So, it goes really into micro detail of what all went into it, way more in detail than what I can actually speak to,
and
for myself.
For those who don't know, all those videos are pumped into your YouTube channel as well. Yep.
Yeah, that's correct. Yep.
There. I'm going to try and bring up on the page and just show everybody what the nitty gritty is. So you guys feel free to keep chatting while I bring this up, because I want to show people, because the nitty gritty, what I love about it is that it is a very, I'll use this term, dumbed down explanation on each of the products, and it's not just a sales pitch. It's actually, hey, this is what works and this is when it works, and it goes across your entire platform. So let me just pull that up in a sec there, fellas.
Yeah, and I even reference it a lot. I know these products inside and out, wear them extensively throughout the seasons, but it's like, I can tell you it works and why it works. But, like, again, getting into that detail and referencing that it gives you a lot of confidence moving forward, especially with, I think you can actually see Logan's, like, confidence and passion and everything that went into it, through that video. You can see how much he cared and wanted to get this right.
And I think more so, nowadays, like, waders aren't so much just waders anymore. Like, I look at more as like a piece of equipment, because everyone runs.
Is that coming through, that music?
I heard some static.
It did for a second, but then it got cut.
Okay.
But
all right, go for it, Phil. Sorry.
Like, obviously, depending on where how you hunt, like, or do you get out 2-3 times a season, or are you 2-3 times a week sort of hunt it, right? My biggest thing is, like, any sort of serious waterfowler, you're hard on your stuff. Like, we'll find a way to break stuff. It happens. Like, I run nothing but Benellis for hunting, because I know I can trust them. They're my workhorse, simple to operate, simple to clean. It's a piece of equipment. So I can't have stuff fail. So I spend the extra money. You get that quality product. The name speaks for itself. It's done. Waders, same thing. A lot of guys, especially obviously, guys down south, Missouri, Arkansas, hunting up timber and whatnot, where they sleep in waders 24/7 for 60 days. Like, it's no longer just a piece of clothing or whatever, or a pair of pants with boots attached to them. Like, it's legit equipment now. And looking again, like what you guys have done, like, you need this stuff to stand up. You can't have failures. You can't have breakdowns, all this other jazz. Like, guys are beating on these things. Again, like you said, crossing fences, you're bushwhacking. Like, you need something that's going to hold up. And obviously the more you walk, the more you move, the more you're stressing, those waders. As you mentioned, like you guys, beat the snot out of them, with your testing prior to putting them in a box. Like that's what you need. And that's where your price point comes in, because, you're not replacing waders every season. Like they're built to last, right?
Yeah. And I think like to that point, I've, since working in the outdoor industry, I've really, it's like, it's a whole buy once, cry once mentality.
100%.
But you also like, you put so much, we talk about this all the time in internally in the office, just, a water cooler talk about our own hunting experiences, whether it be waterfowl or, we just got back from a bighorn sheep hunt this weekend. It was like you put so much time, energy, money into this hunt and into the lead up of everything, right? So it's like, waterfowl season here ends January 31st. Like we don't stop thinking about it until it opens, I believe like October 19th here this year. And, that's a big gap, right? And so when that time comes, you want to be out in the field and maximizing your time out in the field. And, for instance, without a pair of waders or a pair of leaky waders or, just failures in general across the line is just not an option. It's like your average guy gets to hunt, like Saturday, Sunday, maybe, throughout the course of the season. That's a lot if a guy is able to get out every weekend for a season. And so it's like when you're out there for that limited time, that's the last thing you want to be thinking about is like, oh, there's that drip, or oh, there's that, like, or oh, my motor's not starting to give me troubles again. It's like, yeah, my boat's a whole nother issue right now. But anyways, it's one of those things where you just want to have everything perform to maximize your time out there, be comfortable out in the field. And, that's ultimately going to allow you to stay out there longer on those crappy days when the duck hunting's the best, and maximize shot opportunities is what it comes down to.
Yeah, buddy. I agree. And Phil, like you had said, people aren't buying waders every year. Like I know one time, like it was sort of kind of a known thing. Like you buy a pair of neoprene waders, if you got a couple seasons out of them, well, then you were good, right? Like you weren't spending a pile of money, but you were constantly having to replace them, a pinhole, and it's just miserable. And you always find the leak first thing in the morning, right? You don't notice it at the end of the day when you go hang them up. It's the next morning when you put them on and you get out in the water setting decoys, and that's when that pinhole is there, and you're just like, oh, man, now I got the whole morning
with wet socks.
So,
and then there's nothing worse when that sky is blank and there's no birds flying, and you're sitting here like, just, you're hyper focused on that, and it's just like nothing worse,
Well, and then, so for me, I'm like Phil, I buy once, cry once, right? Like I'm not in, and it's not anything of me being special or thinking anything of myself. It's just the last thing I want to do after a hunt or during the hunt is think, now I need to go buy a new pair of waders. Where am I going to get? So I'm hunting now, and all is going through my head is, now I got to get home. I got to try to find a pair of waders. I'm not going to be able to source them locally, so I got to get them shipped to me. How many days am I going to have to be in a leaky set of waders before I get my new ones? It just doesn't stop. And it's just, it's hateful. I hate it. I don't like it. And so here we are. We're at the point, and I think that's what happened with this wader market, is that, when Sitka started it and they set their first price point, well, they proved the concept. Fellas are ladies and gentlemen are willing to pay a premium dollar to get a premium product. And that was when it started. And then that's why we're seeing the competition now, because you guys are like, well, hey, listen, we can make a better waiter. And everybody now is just pushing everybody. The consumer wins in this because we're just getting better products that we could never have imagined of. And I can tell you that 16-year-old Damian Pittman didn't think that waiters would ever get to where we are right now.
Yeah, and I think, like, to your point, just following up a little bit, I think there's a lot of great products on that market. And I think if we even just talk about First Lite, generally speaking, something that's near and dear to my heart, and I think is the best in the industry, is First Lite's customer service team. We've done such a great job of bringing in guys that are passionate about hunting, and they care about the gear, and they care about the customer at the end of the day. And so those guys my office is next to them, and it's nonstop, calls coming in, getting guys in, helping them out, picking out sizing, helping out with returns exchanges, warranty process, these, and then talk about like eating and breathing and living. Like, these guys are out in the field before work, after work, scouting, hunting. They personally, they put in the most hours in the field, in the office. I'm going to say that.
Well, no, it's a good point that you bring up, because when you call customer service, and I haven't had to, and Nate, who's no longer with the company now, but like Nate was my favorite, because there was no question you couldn't ask him. And I know the customer service team that's in place now, they're the same, because they wear the gear all the time, and they've hunted out of it. It's not somebody that's reading off a flow chart or whatever. It's someone that's actually worn it, and you're getting firsthand advice on how to wear it, and how to layer, and what the specifications and all that stuff are.
And they shoot straight. Like, if they're like, hey, this piece, like, I don't wear it. Like, they're going to tell you that.
Yeah.
And for me, as like, when I call into a company and someone's like, that piece just isn't optimal for what you want to do. And when they can just like shoot straight like that, it's like, oh, okay, tell me what I need, like.
Absolutely.
And everyone's gonna have their own, like, different needs, and like, this is what works for me. This may work for you.
Yeah.
It may not, may work for someone else. But like, again, you're calling customer service, you're calling the shop. Like, it's not some overseas call center, like they even said, like, you're just reading off a binder. Like, I wore that stuff 2 weeks ago, and I'm going to buy 3 more pairs. Like,
yeah, and they're not even, there's so much more than customer service, honestly. Like, I call them, in my opinion, they're gear experts, and they're the best in their trade. And I know that we've set the gold standard in the industry for that, with our company, which I'm proud of.
Oh, well, it should be something that you're proud of, because I think I got to be careful how I think that everybody says customer service is important, but they don't actually back that statement, right? So customer service is the last thing really that gets thrown into the hat of things that we need to make sure we have right, because the product and the marketing and all of that stuff all has a higher priority with most brands. But you guys have made sure that your customer service, and listen, if you think I'm just saying it for the sake of saying it, go on any of the First Lite Facebook groups and talk. Sure, there's going to be somebody that had something negative to say about customer service, and that's the people that ran across a barbed wire fence and ripped their clothes and then is expecting it to get fixed, and customer service is saying, well, we're not going to do that. They're going to be mad, of course. But if you read the forums and those groups, you will hear the exact same thing that Michael's saying, what I'm saying, what Phil's saying. And we've all had to call in, we've all done it. So they're the best. And listen, if you want to know how well those, I got to add this because this is a great one. If you want to know how great those forged waders are when you fall in the water, there's a video about that too, because that video of Nate dunking that gun and waders in the water was awesome last year. And
Yeah, there was a lot of naysayers like, "Oh, the stage, blah, blah, blah." And
yeah,
I was there, and I
yeah,
can
no,
tell you that was not a day that you want to fall in. Like, I don't care how much you're paying me. Like, I'm not going
yeah,
under like that, to Nate's detriment, um, I think I've hunted with him, more times than I can count, and I would say 95% of the time that guy ends up in the water. So like, it's his MO. One way or another, like whether the canoe tips or he's stepping in a hole or stubbing
yeah,
on a rock, like he'll
He
find a
was
way.
the token
yeah.
guy in the
That's
group that
awesome.
was always going for a dunk.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you could put him in the Sahara and he'll find
Yeah,
water.
we all have that one friend. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, 100%. Mike, I did, we've talked a lot about the Forge Wader, but there's also some new products that are coming out. Now, you guys didn't come out with a huge launch this fall because you focus so much on the wader and getting that straight. But there are some cool new products out that came out last year. That I wanted to talk about, and one of them is the rugged wool button-up shirt. Which I'm going to tell you that if you don't have this thing yet, it is so first off, and my thoughts on this, Mike, I love solid colors. So it's a solid color that you can wear. Like if you're just around your yard and you've got to run to the store, you can wear that and not look
yeah,
whatever. But the thing is warm, it's thick, functional, and I wear it underneath my waders at the end of the season, right? So there's that, and I have not gotten the navigation hoodie yet, just because I haven't got it yet. I haven't gotten around to ordering it, but those are two things that I've seen. The rugged shirt I have, but the navigator hoodie I don't have. Can you just talk about those two items specifically and just talk about how you use them?
yeah, for sure. So that rugged wool, that's a product line. So
Yeah.
whether it comes in the field shirt, rugged wool field shirt, the rugged wool QZ, the
Yeah.
rugged wool wader pant, and then we have the rugged wool zip up hoodie.
Yeah.
That's
I
all
have
the
that
same
too.
fabric package, and it's a tighter knit merino to help eliminate that snagging, right? There's nails in the built blinds and shorelines, things like that, and so that's what that was specifically was designed for. And so it's an 85% merino content in there, with a little bit of elasticity in there for a little bit of stretch, which I don't know about you, but I make a little bit too much breakfast in the blind, so that stretch is really nice as the winter season progresses. And honestly, I would probably say without a doubt that the rugged wool is the most under discussed product line in First Lite's lineup. And we're known for our merino wool, right? We've been in the industry standard for that for many years. That's where we made our bread and butter. And so coming out with a heavier package merino wool, honestly, like it's many use cases, not just in the duck blind. I've used it so many times, whitetail hunting, out in the field. Yeah, right there is perfect for that piece. And it's a mid layer. It can be an outer layer. Super super versatile. Heavy fabric package. That sucker's going to keep you warm.
The other biggest thing with wool is wool keeps you warm when it's wet. Still works.
Yeah.
Hopefully not wet. Hopefully you don't get
but
wet,
it still
right?
works.
But we all do.
Hey, I can tell you that sitting on the sidelines of the football field wearing this in October is amazing as well. So, like you said, it's not just it has to be in the duck blind or the tree stand, whatever. It is very functional and fashionable, I will say.
Yeah, and then the to touch on the navigator, hands down, probably one of the most versatile pieces that First Lite has come out with to date. It's super adaptive, and it's built for all pursuits, whether it's Western big game, whitetail hunting, or waterfowl hunting. It's just like a really nice synthetic mid layer, and it's with that fleece liner. It's unbelievably comfortable.
Awesome, man. I again, it's easy for me to have you come on the show and talk about how awesome the First Lite products are, because I wear them all season long, and obviously I'm a big fan. I love them. I get to the point now where I'm like, do I need another jacket? Do I need another? Like, I look at it and I'm like, man, that's a good jacket. I want that. Do I need it? And I've got so much stuff that I don't know.
It's funny.
Man. It's awesome.
Like I'm literally sitting here in my like little chair in my man cave, and I got like the soft shell hanging on the back of my chair here.
That's what I mean, right? Like I've got so much. I love it, and I tell you, one of the best things that First Lite has done, and last year was my first year wearing it. Hopefully I didn't lose you guys, because it looks like
we got you.
Okay. It looks like everyone's frozen there, but that we'll fix it in post production. Is that migrator jacket, that wading jacket? I am telling you, that is, and I'll use this term, the tits for anybody that's above the age. Yeah, man, that jacket, Mike, I absolutely love that jacket. I've had a ton of waterfowl jackets over the years, and that migrator wading jacket, I'm telling you, is my absolute favorite jacket that I've ever worn. It is such a good jacket. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, you can go on my socials and you can get my code, and you can go on First Lite and look at all this stuff, and you can order everything, and you don't have to use my code. You can just go on and not use it, but I'd appreciate it if you use my code. But everything is there. And listen, if you don't want to take our word for it, jump on the First Lite forums that's on Facebook and everything. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to get honest answers, because these are the consumers. They're not just working for the company. So please check it out. Mike, buddy, we're getting close to that hour mark, and we got to get Philly out the door. So let's do a quick around the table, and we'll cut her off there. So I'll give you, Mike, anything that you want to say, anything that we missed right after Phil's done. So to you, Phil.
Always a pleasure having you guys on. Like, First Lite speaks for itself. You guys make an amazing product. I couldn't tell you how much stuff I own now: pants, shirts. I think I own probably 5 or 6 different hats, like you name it. But it was so glad to see the waders finally come out. Like, and everyone's been long awaiting, and some of us thought they were going to get dropped last year. Had to wait another year, which I was okay. Again, like I said, Rome wasn't built in a day, and there's no point in rushing something that may not hold up. And we know how we are as duck hunters. If we're going to break it, we'll find a way. It just goes with the territory. So again, so glad the waders are finally here on the market. Can't wait to try them out. Like, and wish you guys nothing but the best, and looking forward to see what else comes down in the near future.
Oh, thank you. I think it's hard, especially for us in the lower 48 here. It's, right now it's 85 degrees Fahrenheit. It's at 30 degrees Celsius, somewhere around there.
30,
and, not a whole lot of people are thinking about waders right now down here, but season's right around the corner, and I know I'm chomping at the bit. Damien, thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it. And we should do another catch up, October, November, and talk about how the seasons are going so far. It'll be great.
No, absolutely, buddy. And actually, one of my biggest goals right now is I want to get some content for you guys when I'm in Saskatchewan. So that'll be, I've done a season with the waders. Now they've been sitting for, almost a year in the rugged, or in the ruddy duck bag. Which if you order a set of waders right now, I'm pretty sure you get the free wader bag with them right now, which is saving you a couple $100. Just had to slide that in there. But I wanted to get some more content out west, because so it's a little bit different for me out west, because sometimes I hunt, I'm wearing these when I'm in a layout blind, because we'll be in layout blinds right on the edge of the water sometimes in the cover. And then I still got to get, so I still had to have waders because I got to get out to the water to pick up the birds, right? So, and it just adds to the toughness of what these waders are. So I want to get some more content for you guys out west, because I know I didn't get you any this spring on the launch, but I do owe you guys some content for out there. Yeah, buddy. Sorry. Keep going.
No, all good. All good. Appreciate you having me on, and enjoy the opening. Your openers are coming up here pretty quick, or they already started?
So for us, we have our early goose opening on Saturday. Is it not?
Depends
Phil?
where you are, because
Saturday
the
this
boys
week?
up in it's like the central zone, they opened on Monday. Yeah.
Right. So for us down here in southern Ontario, eastern Ontario, on Saturday, our early goose is open. But it's weird this year because once early goose closes, it's almost 2 full weeks before duck opens, which is, it's just weird. This is usually only a week. But anyways, the time is now.
Yep.
And it's here. I know Dove is open down in the States. I'm seeing all that. I know Pennsylvania was goose opened on yesterday. So yeah,
It's here.
It's here. We've been waiting, almost 12 months for it. So it's here, and check out First Lite and get your gear needed to make sure you have an enjoyable season, because that's what it's all about. Anybody can be uncomfortable. Right?
Yep.
Anybody can be uncomfortable. Ladies and gentlemen, this was episode 239 of the Union 0430 podcast. We are not experts. We're just a bunch of friends that have some amazing guests come on, and we talk everything duck hunting. Well, we didn't really talk duck hunting this time.
Next time.
But we will the next time. Big love. Surround yourself with good people and chat next time.
Awesome. Damien, Phil, thank you.